Since humankind first experienced the natural phenomenon of the aurora borealis, we've been spellbound by their extraordinary beauty as they shimmer against the inky backdrop of the starry night sky. These celestial displays of green, yellow and red that dance like a sheep blowing in the wind have over time inspired artists and poets, aroused myths and legends. Though never a guarantee, one of the best places to view the phenomenon of the Northern Lights is in northern Norway during the winter months between November and March. And nature has conspired to make this location an inspiration in itself. Considered to be one of the world's most unspoilt destinations, Arctic Norway remains one of the great natural wonders of the world. Along its long, lonely coast, still the true heart of the country, majestic peaks blanketed in snow rise out of the sea. The air is so fresh you can actually taste it. It's truly an unspoilt, unimaginably captivating wilderness. There's probably no better way to experience the Northern Lights and this majestic scenery than by sailing on board a ship from the Hurtigruten fleet. With daily departures year-round, this winter voyage sails across the Arctic Circle and beyond, meandering along the dramatic splendours of the frozen coast under the veil of the magical Arctic twilight. The covering of snow and ice brings with it a sense of peace and tranquility, especially when viewed from the safe haven of the ship. For over a century, the ships of the Norwegian coastal voyage, or Hurtigruten, have carried passengers, mail and supplies to over 30 ports along the Norwegian coastline, offering a lifeline to remote communities, particularly throughout the winter months. Small towns become cosy refuges as the ship pulls into harbour to welcome new passengers on board. Some ports are home to just a few hundred people, and the ship may stay for only minutes before departing again. In others, there's time to disembark and briefly explore these Arctic outposts of Norwegian life. Even the larger ports of call on this voyage take on a magical air when seen with a covering of snow in the clear winter light. Trondheim, Norway's first capital, is an attractive city all year round, but with its winter coat becomes a perfect picture postcard stop-off. Trondheim's landmark, the magnificent Gothic cathedral, is considered one of the grandest in northern Europe and marks the site of the grave of Saint Olav, the great Viking king of Norway. Trondheim is easily explored on foot, and just a short walk from the cathedral is the Old Town Bridge. The 18th and 19th century riverfront warehouses, either side of the river, are now the home of restaurants, bars and coffee shops. Further north, Tromsø, the capital of Arctic Norway, is the start and end point for many voyages. Here, the cathedral reflects Tromsø's Arctic location. Equally daring in its design is Polaria, Tromsø's Museum of the Arctic. Inside there are films and exhibits about life in the Arctic and an aquarium housing bearded seals, the tunnel under the tank being the highlight for most visitors. although much of the voyage can be spent above the Arctic Circle, travelling at the same latitude as Siberia and Alaska, the warming influence of the Gulf Stream helps create the largest ice-free polar coast. All the ships in the fleet are purpose-built for these waters and vary depending on their size and age, but all come with their own individual style and character. On board the ships, large, comfortable panoramic lounges are complemented by bars and a restaurant serving celebrated Norwegian cuisine. Generally on this voyage, travellers don't spend much time in their cabins, but it is possible to upgrade to a larger suite with a double bed, subject to availability. Passengers can choose to sail north or south along the coast, with an almost limitless number of itineraries to choose from, either breaking the journey to spend some time ashore or taking short excursions from the ship at the ports of call. Perhaps one of the most evocative sounds of the Arctic. The huskies are in harness and know they're about to leap off into the frozen wastes with a sledge in tow. After being fully kitted out with warm snowsuit and boots, it's time to climb into the sledge and be pulled by your team of dogs for an unforgettable journey across the frozen landscape. And as the Arctic twilight fades into darkness, the journey takes on an even more magical air. Despite the fact that in the winter months the sun struggles to rise above the horizon, the region is not entirely without light. Instead, what light there is reflects on the snow and ice to create the renowned Arctic twilight. For many travellers, experiencing the magnificent coastal scenery bathed in this light is the highlight of their voyage. At North Cape, mainland Europe's northernmost point, the sun will not even break the horizon between November and January. That only adds to the drama of this wild and windswept headland, where the cliffs rise 300 metres out of the sea. Beyond this point, only Svalbard stands between us and the frozen wastes surrounding the North Pole. Kirkenes is the last call for the ships on their coastal voyage before they turn around and head back south. Only 10 kilometres from the Russian border, even the street signs are in Russian as well as Norwegian, it offers a fascinating glimpse into the life way up beyond the Arctic Circle. There's no doubt that during the winter months, conditions can be harsh for the inhabitants of this remote region of Norway. Temperatures can drop to below -20 degrees centigrade, but thankfully Norwegian hotels and the ships are well heated, which is more than you can say for the ice hotels. Understandably, the ice hotels have captured the imagination of visitors to this part of the world. Constructed from scratch each year, entirely out of snow and ice, and decorated with impressive ice sculptures, They come complete with ice bar, lounges and even a chapel, and offer a unique opportunity to spend the night at sub-zero temperatures, sleeping on an ice bed. Thankfully, Arctic sleeping bags are also provided. If by now you've developed a taste for unique experiences on your trip, then you may wish to add another to your list, and it's one you probably need to see to believe. The beautiful location is the Barents Sea, where again, having been kitted out with warm clothing, your guide will transport you out onto the ice-cold water. This is home to the largest king crabs in the world. And amazingly, here your guide will dive down and hopefully catch some of these incredible crustaceans. Well, these apparently are small ones, but they can span 2 meters and weigh up to 15 kilos. Then it's your turn to swim. Well, perhaps float might be a better description. Your special survival suit will keep you warm and dry and guarantees that you enjoy a truly memorable experience. Apparently, king crabs are all the rage in London's finest restaurants, so you'll later have the chance to taste this freshest of catches as your guides prepare and cook the crabs on your return to shore. Just when it seems that you're running out of adventures, this stunning location offers even more. On days like this, the sun's premature departure from the daytime sky can herald the start of another Arctic light display, and of course, the tantalising possibility of witnessing the Northern Lights. This natural phenomenon is caused by electrically charged solar particles passing into the Earth's atmosphere and can appear abruptly, filling the sky with great arcs of ghostly light before disappearing again. In fact, many travellers consider a sighting of the Northern Lights to be simply the icing on the cake of an already remarkable visit to the Arctic. It's an adventure, an experience, and above all, a trip which will plant memories that will stay with you forever.